He woke up expecting another ordinary morning. But what he saw made his heart stop. A powerful female CEO, cold, untouchable, and known for destroying competitors without mercy, was standing in his kitchen, wearing his shirt, cooking breakfast, like she belonged there. And when he finally found his voice to ask what was going on, she turned, looked him straight in the eyes, and said something that shattered everything he thought he knew. Something about his past. Something about his daughter. Something she should never have known. Stay till the end, because the truth behind why she was in his house isn't what you think. The smell of fresh coffee filled the small apartment. It was unusual. Very unusual. Because Daniel Reyes hadn't brewed coffee in weeks. He opened his eyes slowly, still half asleep, expecting the usual chaos of morning, his daughter Lily jumping on the bed, cartoons playing too loudly, and the rush of getting ready for school. But instead, there was silence. Calm. Strange silence. Then, a soft clinking sound from the kitchen. Daniel frowned. He sat up immediately, his instincts kicking in. Someone was in his house. He moved quietly, stepping out of his room, his heart beating faster with each step. "Lily," he called softly. No answer. Panic. He rushed toward her room and pushed the door open. And froze. Her bed was empty. "Lily," his voice rose now, fear taking over. "Relax." The voice came from behind him. Calm. Controlled. Familiar. Too familiar. Daniel turned sharply. And what he saw made absolutely no sense. Standing in his kitchen, flipping pancakes like it was the most normal thing in the world, was Victoria Hale. The Victoria Hale, CEO of Hale Industries. The woman known in business circles as the Ice Queen. The same woman who had rejected his job application just 2 weeks ago without even meeting him. And now, she was in his apartment, wearing his shirt. What the? Daniel ran a hand through his hair, trying to process the situation. "What are you doing here?" Victoria didn't even look surprised. She simply turned off the stove, placed the spatula down, and finally faced him. Her expression was calm. Too calm. "You're awake," she said. "That's your concern right now." Daniel snapped. "Why are you in my house? Where is my daughter?" "She's fine," Victoria replied. "She's in the living room, watching cartoons." Daniel didn't wait. He rushed past her, and there she was. Lily. Sitting on the couch. Safe. Laughing. Relief hit him so hard he almost dropped to his knees. "Daddy." Lily smiled brightly. "You're awake." Miss Victoria made pancakes. "Miss Victoria?" Daniel looked back toward the kitchen slowly. Confusion now replacing panic. "How do you know her?" he asked, his voice cautious. Lily tilted her head innocently. "She's nice. She came last night." Last night? Daniel's memory felt blurry. Fragments. Nothing clear. He turned back to Victoria. "What happened last night?" For the first time, something shifted in her expression. Not coldness. Not arrogance. But hesitation. "You don't remember?" she asked quietly. "No," Daniel replied. "Should I?" Victoria studied him for a moment. As if deciding something. As if measuring how much truth he could handle. Then she walked closer. Slowly. "You collapsed," she said. "Outside my office building." Daniel blinked. "What?" "You were exhausted. Dehydrated. You fainted." He tried to recall. The long job hunt. The stress. The sleepless nights. Maybe. "I couldn't just leave you there," she continued. "So I brought you home." Daniel frowned. "You brought me home?" "Yes." "That still doesn't explain why you're in my shirt," he muttered. For a brief second. A very brief second. Victoria almost smiled. Your clothes were soaked, she said. It was raining. Daniel opened his mouth to argue, but stopped. Because strangely, that part made sense. But something still felt off. Why are you still here? He asked. That's when everything changed. Victoria's expression grew serious. Her gaze shifted toward Lily in the living room. Then back to him. And what she said next made the ground beneath him feel like it disappeared. I didn't stay because of you, she said. Daniel's chest tightened. Then why? She held his gaze. Unflinching. I stayed because of your daughter. Silence. What about her? Daniel asked, his voice barely above a whisper now. Victoria took a deep breath. And for the first time, her voice wasn't cold. It wasn't controlled. It was emotional. Because she reminds me of someone I lost. Daniel froze. And deep inside, he felt something shift. Something he couldn't yet understand. But he knew one thing. This wasn't just a coincidence. And whatever truth Victoria was hiding was about to change his life forever. Daniel couldn't ignore it anymore. Start talking, he said firmly. Victoria stood still for a moment. Then slowly, she walked toward the window. As if the truth was easier to say without looking at him. I had a daughter, she said quietly. The words hit him unexpectedly. Daniel's tone softened. Had. Victoria nodded. She would have been around Lily's age now. A heavy silence filled the room. What happened? He asked gently. Victoria closed her eyes briefly. As if reliving something painful. I lost her, she whispered. Daniel didn't press further. He didn't need to. The pain in her voice said everything. For years, she continued, I buried myself in work. Built an empire. Became someone people feared, because it was easier than feeling anything. Daniel glanced at Lily, who was still laughing in the other room. And then last night, Victoria said, her voice trembling slightly, I saw her. Lily? Daniel asked. Victoria nodded. She looked at me the same way my daughter used to. Without fear. Without judgment. Her voice broke. Just slightly. But enough. I didn't know what to do, she admitted. So I stayed. Daniel felt his anger slowly dissolve. Replaced by something else. Understanding. But that's not all, is it? He said quietly. Victoria turned to him. And this time, there was no wall left. No, she said. It's not. She walked closer. Her eyes searching his face. When I checked your records last night, she hesitated. Daniel stiffened. You what? I had to know who you were, she said quickly. And that's when I saw it. His heartbeat picked up again. So what? Victoria swallowed. You were the doctor on duty the night my daughter was admitted. The world stopped. Daniel's mind raced. Faces. Memories. Emergency rooms. Chaos. Then suddenly, it hit him. The little girl. Critical condition. Too late. I tried to save her, he whispered. Victoria nodded, tears finally falling now. I know. Silence. I read everything, she said. You stayed past your shift. You refused to give up. Daniel's chest tightened. I failed. No, Victoria shook her head. You were the only one who didn't. For a moment. Neither of them spoke. Then Lily's voice broke the silence. Daddy. Pancakes are getting cold. They both turned. And for the first time, they smiled. Not because everything was okay. But because, maybe it could be. Days passed. Then weeks. Victoria kept visiting. At first for Lily. Then. For something more. Daniel found a job. At Hale Industries. Not out of pity. But because she believed in him. And slowly. Two broken people began to heal. Not by forgetting the past, but by accepting it. One evening, as the sun set, Lily sat between them, holding both their hands. "Are you staying for dinner again?" she asked Victoria. Victoria looked at Daniel. Then back at Lily. "If your dad doesn't mind." Daniel smiled softly. "I don't. And sometimes life brings people together in the most unexpected ways. Not to remind them of what they lost, but to show them what they can still have."